Okay, here we go. Third tutorial. Let's get familiar with some of the buttons down at this lower left hand corner. First of all, this is OSnap, Object Snap. Right click and click on Settings. What you will see is a whole range of different settings. So at this stage, the OSnap will act on endpoints, it will act on center, intersection of two lines, extension of a line. It will not act on insertion, on perpendicular, on tangent, on nearest, etc. Can I suggest that when you are working, minimum you would require midpoint, because you may be dividing things. Select the node, select intersection, which already is, insertion, because you will be inserting blocks, and I will show you how to do blocks later, and perpendicular. Until such time as you are doing curves, etc., you don't really need tangent. Nearest you can also select, but it's not really used a lot by myself, but you can also choose all the other ones. At the same time, you can click clear all, or you can click select all. Okay, in this case I've used select all, and let's go with it. Okay, now can you see that the button is light blue, so it is selected. The next one is Object Snap Tracking, and what that means is if I touch, for example, pick up a line, and I want the line that will be at the points of intersection of this point and this point. So can you see there's a dotted line appearing? So if I move it, can you see also a second line has come about? So if I click here, it will be exactly at the intersection of the 2 points. Alright, so as easy as that. Right click, enter, capture the whole lot, delete. Sorry, it's my finger touched the volume control button and straight away it lit up. So what are we going to do next? Well, first of all, we're going to create some openings in the walls externally and some openings in the walls internally, and we will be using again the trim command, we will be using possibly extend command, but we will also be using offset command, and all of those is reinforcing what we've done before. So having selected OSnap, what I will do is let's start with, let's say this is going to be our living room. First of all, I want to put a nice big window in the middle of that wall internally, or that wall externally, and let's say we want to make that opening 1800 wide. So I select a line, I move along, and can you see the triangle up here? This is a midpoint. Zoom in, OSnap to the next midpoint. Now, as I said, standard brick opening is 1810. So divided by 2, what do you have? 905. So I go to offset command, offset. On offset distance I will put 905, enter. Then I will click on this line and go in direction, click on this line again and go in this direction. Right click, enter, terminate the command. Now I want to trim all of these lines in between. So I go to trim command and select my slicing knives. This is one slicing knife, this is the other slicing knife. Right click to confirm. So Now if I capture those areas, lo and behold, those lines have disappeared. Now, the other thing that you need to understand is that when you select these slicing knives, and there I have selected them, those knives carry on right the way through, even though they are not invisible, because we've chosen extend and extend. In effect, they're cutting through all through here. So if I go from the middle across those areas, can you see what happens? Those slice knives have sliced through that area. So in effect, I have created an opening between what would be my, let's say, living room, dining room and kitchen, right? And I've created another window opening on this side. So now what I need to do is really to close those cavities. Oops, let that disappear again, a bit too fast. Now you don't have to go to the command every time. The last command that I've performed was line. Previous to that was trim. If I right click, can you see it? It says recent input, and what I've done is line, trim, offset, erase and settings. But I've also, my most recent command was line, so I can right click on here straight away and do a line command, enter. Can you see it, how much faster it is? So capture that, delete again. Oops, my finger keeps touching the volume control. So this is how I'm working the whole of the thing. Now let's say this is a traditional house and you're going to enter this house from this direction, right? So this is going to be somewhere an entrance in here, and you're going to be having like an entrance porch here, perhaps stair to the left, a bit of a corridor, maybe a disabled toilet here. So let's organize first of all an entrance, but the entrance would need to be clear of the stair. So let's set up a stair. Stair width is normally somewhere in a region of about 900 millimeters, 3 foot. So what you can do is straight away go to offset, type in 900 and offset that. That has given you position for the stairs. Now what the regulations stipulate is to say that in front of the stair you need at least a landing area equivalent to the width of the stair. So if I took that and clicked it over, what I've done is offset both of those to exactly the same two distances. Okay, right click, enter. Now I can select both of those, trim, enter. Okay, now I've got positioned my stairs. They're 900 millimeters wide. So I'm zooming in. Now I want to create an opening here for the front door. Standard width for the front door is 910 millimeters. Well, I don't want the front door exactly lined with that. So what I'll do is I will create tracking from that corner, click onto there, move 100 millimeters along, enter, downwards, right click, enter. I can capture both of those lines and delete them again, right? Or I can zoom in, capture only that line and delete it. Now how would you do an opening of 910 millimeters? So you need to make that 910 millimeters that way. You can do it with offset, but let me show you another way. I'm going to use copy command. copy command is also handy in another way, that you can pick up the same line and then copy it with several distances further up. And what I will do is demonstrate it now. Okay, so I've got an opening that I want to go that way, 910. So I type 910, okay, enter. Can you see that line has appeared at 910 millimeters? Now, what has happened also, that the line, because I was moving the crosshairs, I moved it down further, so the line appeared further. But doesn't matter, we can correct that a bit more. Now, a standard pier of 2 bricks next to an opening will be 440 millimeters. So 910 plus 440 gives you what? 1350. So if I typed 1350, enter, I've created another line which is at 1350. And what? Click on the line, move it perpendicular, move it perpendicular, move it perpendicular, move it perpendicular, right? But let me demonstrate how to do it without creating all of those problems that you saw. Delete, copy, select the line, right click to confirm, click it by top corner, drag it along, 910, enter, 1350, enter. I want another opening there, let's say another 910. So 1350 plus 910 gives you 2260. So 2260, enter. So what I've done now is created a brick opening 4 bricks wide for a door, pier 2 bricks wide, and then another 4 bricks wide opening for a window. Okay, so now I can select those 4 lines, trim, right click, enter, and I've got openings. So this is my front door entrance, and this is possibly I can put a disabled toilet as required by the regulations, and it will comply with the regulations. At the same time, I could have done an opening into that area when I was doing that. So if I went back, okay, I've selected those, trim, here, and here, and then here, right click, enter. So I've done door opening, window opening, and a door opening going past the stairs going up there. So let's tidy it up. Line command, close to there, enter, right click, repeat line, click, click, right click, enter. Very nice. Now, normally, what do we do with the doors? With door, you will have, even if it's a UPVC door, you will still have a threshold, and that threshold will extend a little bit beyond the front line of the brickwork, let's say 25 millimeters. Click. Can you see it's going to the side? Touch the corner to get your R-track, click, and R-snap onto the corner, and there you are. You have a threshold on here. Okay, how do we do the window? Quite straightforward. Go to the line command again, level with the reveal, about 50 millimeter frame, so going to down to the middle point, and there you have a window. I will show you afterwards how to develop nice blocks for all the windows and doors and everything else, so it appears very nice. Now, if we are looking at this plan now, what we have is a front entrance, stairs here going in towards our, let's say, kitchen dining area, and this is our living area, and within that area we will put WC, perhaps storage, etc., etc. So a lot of things for us still to do. So where do we go next? Okay, let's explore the commands that we already know. So let's use the offset command to complete the stairs, and let's say each tread, this is the part of the stairs that you put your foot on, and this is why it's called the tread. The maximum rise for domestic, and this is the height from tread to tread, is 220 millimeters. Okay, the overall angle shouldn't exceed 42 degrees. So really, if you're doing 220 and 220, it will be 45 degrees. So normally the tread is about 240 millimeters. So on offset, distance, type 240, enter. Then go to the front nosing, click, 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 click to do the offset, right click, enter. Let me show you how else you can do it. Using the copy command, and there's the copy command, what I will do, I will select those three. I could have selected those four. Okay? Right click, I've selected them. Now, if I took the points from there, I would be all snapping onto there. But no, I need to take the points from there, so I will be all snapping onto there, and then onto there, and then onto there. And can you see how quickly I have constructed the stairs? Now, there's another one hidden somewhere in here, and there we are. I've deleted it. Now, in normal house, you will find anything between 13 to 14 risers, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and let's say this is looking exactly now at the first floor. Well, what happens is that on the plan we normally show part of the stair. So let's say at this point or at this point, I will take this and move it like that. Yeah? Now I will use the trim command, enter. What it shows is that my staircase is going up, and underneath this staircase I've got free space after a certain height, which can be used for storage, which can be used for putting, let's say, a computer workstation in there, so whoever wants to sit and work under the stairs can do so, and so on. So all of a sudden you've got a nice architectural representation of a staircase. Normally what you will find also that architects will put a little squiggle in here, which is indicative of a break point, but it's not always done. So what we have is this L-shaped, reversed, rotated house. This is our entrance going into our kitchen, dining area, and then living area. Okay, so now we're going to create a wall for this area. Pick up your line command. Where do you want your block work to start? Let's say 100 millimeters down from this end. So type 100, enter. Go up, right up to that wall. Can you see that little sign? It says perpendicular. Click on there, right click, enter. So now we have one side of a block wall. You can use the copy command, select that line, right click to confirm, pick it up, move it over that way, type 100, enter, and enter again, and there you are. You have created another wall. Now, using the trim command, select your cutting knives, click, your blockwork has joined, click, your blockwork has joined. So, there you are. You've got a wall, and now the process of opening up the windows or the door openings in here again. So, select a line from there, let's say 100 millimeters, going that way. How wide do you want? Can you see? This is another way I'm doing it, because I have a line here. I can take this and bring it to the arris of that opening. Now, if I want to create a door opening, let's say 762. This is a standard width for a door. I had the grip highlighted with red, and I moved it across. So now I use the line command from there, perpendicular, enter, either trim command or select the line, take the grip, move it across, and then you can make up that line. Lo and behold, you have an opening entrance into whatever room you decide this to be, whether you decide it to be bathroom or cloakroom or whatever. It's up to you. You can create intermediate doors as well. Decide on the width of your bathroom, let's say 1500, going across, going copy command, right click to confirm, 100, enter, enter, and you have your room defined. Select that, trim command, and you have connected those areas. Now the next process is to decide what you're going to use this for, as whatever room. You can use it as a very narrow kitchen, because really the width here, okay, you can go to dimension to find the width, but if you click on that line and then just touch properties, can you see it tells you that the length of that line is 1790, so it's almost 8 foot wide. So really that can be your kitchen, because if you're arranging this as a cloakroom toilet, keep the wet areas close together and keep them to that end. Okay, so let's say we were mad enough and we've selected this as a kitchen. So in the first instance, let's see what will happen if we put a kitchen in here. Standard width of the worktop is about 600 millimeters. So we would want to offset that 600 millimeters and that 600 millimeters. So use offset command. This time type 600, enter, click, click, right click, enter, select those two, trim, right click, enter, and there you go. This is your worktops in a kitchen. Now you can make that as a trim command as well and trim straight through, but it will trim it right over to there. You don't want to do that. So ideally you'll say, okay, I want at least a block's return here. So this is 215 millimeters, going to there. Now the width of doorway, again 762, either use offset or copy in this case, select, move across 762, enter, select these two cutting knives, trim, and you've got an entrance into your kitchen. So what have you got? There you are, entering your house. You can go upstairs, you can go and refresh yourself in a cloakroom, you can move forward, go into your dining and living room area, or you can go back in there, grab a beer before you go into the living room and sit down and watch football. Okay, so let's say this is the end of another tutorial.